23 of the fantasy baseball season, and in most leagues, it's the second round of the playoffs here. Or if obviously you got a couple weeks left in rotisserie leagues, this is it pretty much this week and next week, and then the season's over. Pitches I look to add here to help your roster. The first guy is AJ Alexy of the Texas Rangers. So Alexy, he's pitched a few games so far in his young career, and so far in the season, 11 innings, 2-0 record, 2 hits, no runs, 5 walks, 11 Ks, and 0.64 WHIP, and a quality start so far. So Alexy, he's going out there and he's pitched great baseball, no doubt about it, in his first 2 starts. August 30th versus Colorado and September 6th at the Angels. August 30th versus the Rockies, 5 innings, got the win, 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, an 0.80 WHIP. And then September 6th at the Angels, 6 innings, got the win, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and 0.50 WHIP in the quality start. So right here, Alexy, he's going out there, he's mowing down teams right now, and he should be starting any day now for the Texas Ranger team. His next start's not announced yet, but he should be pitching versus the Houston Astros this week, and right now he's available, is Alexy, in a whopping 79% of fantasy leagues. I definitely would give him an ad. The next pitcher is Eric Lawler of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Lawler, he's been on the list a lot over the last few months here, and right now he's still available as Lawler in 45% of fantasy leagues on the season. 6-5 record, 102 thirds, 82 hits, 35 earned runs, 13 homers, 34 walks, 99 strikeouts, a 3.10 ERA, a 1.16 WHIP, and 7 quality starts. So right now, Laura, he's obviously on the first place Milwaukee Brewer team, and like I mentioned, he's pitched really good baseball for the most of the season here, but the last couple weeks he's really stepped it up. 19 1/3, 2-0 record, 10 hits, 2 runs, a homer, 3 walks, 17 Ks, and 0.93 ERA, 0.67 WHIP, and 2 quality starts. So he's been pitching good. I know some of the matchups have been favorable for Lawler since he came off the injury list about 3-4 weeks ago here. September 2nd at San Francisco, 7 innings, no decision, 3 hits, a run, a walk, a homer, 4 Ks, a 1.29 ERA, 0.57 WHIP, and a quality start. September 7th versus Philly, 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, 5 Ks, and 0.71 WHIP, and a quality start. And September 12th at Cleveland, 5 1/3, got the win, 3 hits, a run, a walk, 8 Ks, a 1.69 ERA, and an 0.75 WHIP. So right here, it looks like Lawler's next start will be sometime towards the end of the week here versus a very weak Chicago Cub hitting team. And this guy, he's getting outs, he's getting wins, he's been getting quality starts, and even his strikeouts are just about strikeout an inning here on the season. So he's really turned it around since last season to this year's Lawler, and he's definitely worked an ad this week. The next pitcher is Tyler Gilbert of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So Gilbert threw a no-hitter in his first career start about a month ago, and he's been pretty solid since then on the season. 40 innings, 2-2 record, 28 hits, 14 runs, 4 homers, 13 walks, 25 strikeouts, a 3.15 ERA, and a 1.03 WHIP with 2 quality starts in the last couple weeks here for Gilbert. 17 1/3, 1-1 record, 14 hits, 8 runs, 3 homers, 4 walks, 9 Ks, a 4.15 ERA, and a 1.04 WHIP with a quality start. So Gilbert, he's gone out there and he's pitching pretty solid baseball. I know this Arizona Diamondback team is one of the worst teams in the league, and they're not going to really give their pitchers run support or play good ball. But right here, Gilbert's gone out there and he's been a serviceable and pretty solid starting pitcher since he's been in the rotation here. August 30th versus San Diego, 5 innings, got the loss, 8 hits, 3 runs, a homer, a walk, 4 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, 1.80 WHIP. September 5th versus the Mariners, 7 innings, no decision, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 3.86 ERA, 0.86 WHIP, and a quality start. And September 12th, once again at Seattle, which is rare that he versed some back-to-back series. Obviously, since then, the American League and the Diamondbacks in the National League. 5 1/3, got the win. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 homers, a walk, 2 Ks, a 3.38 ERA, and an 0.56 WHIP. So he's gone out there and he's pitched well. And his next outing should be later in the week as well versus a tough Houston Astros team, no doubt about it. But right here, he's going out there and he's pitching pretty decent baseball, and he's available still on 82% of fantasy leagues. The next pitcher is Jake Odorizzi of the Houston Astros. So Odorizzi, I've spoken about him a lot over the last few weeks here, is Odorizzi. I know he don't go deep into games, but he's pitching for a first place team here in the Houston Astros, and he's been pretty solid the last couple weeks. On the season, 94 and 2/3, 6-7 record, 84 hits, 45 runs, 16 homers, 31 walks, 85 strikeouts, a 4.28 ERA, and a 1.21 WHIP in 2 quality starts. In the last couple weeks here for Odorizzi, 10 innings, 0-1 record, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 10 Ks, a 2.70 ERA, and a 0.90 WHIP. So right here, he's not going to go deep into games. He'll go 5-6 innings at most is Odorizzi, because that third time around the lineup is where it's been trouble for him over the last few seasons. So the last few games here, he's been a 5-inning pitcher. August 27th at Texas, 5 innings, no decision, 6 hits, 2 runs, a homer, 5 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, a 1.20 WHIP. September 1st at Seattle, 5 innings, got the loss, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, 0.80 WHIP. And September 7th versus Seattle, 5 innings, no decision, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1 WHIP. So right here, Odorizzi, his next outing is actually today at the Texas Rangers. I know he don't go deep into games, but he's still giving you good innings. He's not giving up many runs. His strikeout rate's been pretty decent, and he even qualifies for victory. So that's not that crazy to ask for Odorizzi, in my opinion. And he's going out there and getting the job done. So he's available right now in 55% of fantasy leagues, and I would give him an ad. The next pitcher is Rich Hill of the New York Mets. So Rich Hill, the 43-year-old, he's been pitching well over the last few weeks here. Since he got traded to the New York Mets, he pretty much wasn't doing anything, but now he's going deeper into games. His strikeouts have been going up as well, and he's pitching good for this Met team that still thinks they have a chance here. 5 games out in the wild card in the division with a couple weeks left in the season. So Hill on the season, 139 innings, 6-6 record, 117 hits, 59 runs, 19 homers, 45 walks, 127 strikeouts, a 3.82 ERA, and a 1.17 WHIP with 7 quality starts on the season here. So the last couple weeks here for Hill, 12 innings, no record, 8 hits, a run, 2 walks, 12 Ks, an 0.75 ERA, and an 0.83 WHIP with 2 quality starts. So Rich Hill, his next outing is actually today versus a pretty tough St. Louis Cardinal team that's starting to kick things into gear and try to make that final push to make the playoffs in the wild card in the next couple weeks here. But Hill's last few outings, August 27th versus Washington, 5 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 2 runs, 8 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, a 1 WHIP. September 3rd at Washington, 6 innings, no decision, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, an 0.83 WHIP and a quality start. And September 8th at Miami, 6 innings, no decision, 5 hits, a run, 8 Ks, a 1.50 ERA, and an 0.83 WHIP with a quality start. So he's available in 55% of fantasy leagues. But the only thing here with Rich Hill, the last 3 outings have been versus lightweight teams at the hitting spot. The Washington Nationals, they pretty much got a lot of minor leaguers in there hitting. And the Miami Marlins, we know they've been a bad hitting team all season and are in last place in the NL East. So right here will be the true test today versus the St. Louis Cardinals. But if you need a pitcher and you made it this far into your season, I would give Rich Hill a shot, and hopefully he goes 5-6 innings and only gives up a couple runs here. The next pitcher I look to add is Michael Givens of the Cincinnati Reds. So Givens, the closer over there in Cincinnati, it looks like. He's been getting opportunities since he came over in a trade from the Rockies a couple months ago at the deadline. On the season for Givens, 3-2 record, 7 saves, 45 2/3, 37 hits, 14 runs, 6 homers, 22 walks, 49 strikeouts, a 2.76 ERA, and a 1.29 WHIP. I know over the last couple weeks here, his numbers haven't been all that great though for Givens. 4 1/3, 3 saves though, 6 hits, 3 runs, a homer, a walk, 4 Ks, a 6.23 ERA, and a 1.62 WHIP. So right here, Givens, he hasn't pitched well, like I mentioned the last couple weeks, but he's getting saves, he's getting opportunities, and he still didn't get a loss in this time. So right now, if he just calms it down a little bit and he gets clean save opportunities, he'll really be valuable. But the last few outings for him, he hasn't given up a run, so that's pretty good for him. Last time he gave up a run was in the September 4th outing, only one run. So Gibbons, he's going to get his things together here, and he's been good in closer situations. So right now, if you need a closer this late into the season, I would give Michael Gibbons a shot. The next pitcher I'd look to add this week's Taylor Hearn of the Texas Rangers. So the Rangers, they got a couple young guys, like I mentioned. They got A.J. Alexy, who's pitched well, and Taylor Hearn, he's been pretty solid since he's been in the rotation. On the season for Hearn, mostly as a reliever though, 90 and a third, 6-4 record, 78 hits, 40 runs, 17 homers, 34 walks, 83 strikeouts, a 3.99 ERA, 1.24 whip and 3 quality starts for the last couple weeks here. 13 innings, 2-0 record, 12 hits, 6 runs, 4 homers, 6 Ks, a 4.15 ERA, 0.92 whip, and 2 quality starts here for Hearn. So Hearn, the last couple outings for him, September 5th at the Angels, 7 innings, got the win, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, a 3.86 ERA, a 1 whip, and a quality start. And September 12th at Oakland, 6 innings, got the win, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, a 4.50 ERA, and a 0.83 whip. So right here, he's gone out there, he's pitched good baseball. I know the Texas Rangers aren't the greatest of teams this season, obviously, but their division doesn't have great hitting teams, in my opinion, besides maybe the Astros and the Athletics. But Taylor Hearn, he's gone out there versus the A's, and he's pitched a good ball game, like I mentioned. And if he has the Angels coming in the schedule a few more times, that's going to help as well. So right here, he's available in 80% of fantasy leagues, and he's pitching good baseball. And he's definitely worth an add this week, even though he's not on the greatest of teams. The next pitcher I looked at this week's Patrick Corbin of the Washington Nationals. So the Nationals, it's been a bad season for them, no doubt about it. And Patrick Corbin, he hasn't pitched good baseball as well this season. 8-14 record, 155 innings, 172 hits, 103 runs, 34 homers, 50 walks, 122 strikeouts, a 5.98 ERA, and a 1.43 whip with 11 quality starts. But the last couple weeks here for Corbin, he's turned things around a little. 19 innings, 1-1 record, 24 hits, 11 runs, 3 homers, 7 walks, 12 Ks, 5.21 ERA, a 1.63 whip and 2 quality starts. I know those numbers aren't all that great, but the last 2 outings is where he's pitched good. August 31st over Philly, 5 innings, got the loss, 9 hits, 6 runs, 2 homers, 4 walks, 4 Ks, a 10.80 ERA, a 2.60 whip. September 6th versus the Mets, 7 innings, no decision. They give up 11 hits, but 3 runs, a homer, a walk, 4 Ks, a 3.86 ERA, 1.71 whip, and a quality start. And September 12th at the Pirates, 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, a 2.57 ERA, and an 0.86 whip with a quality start. So right here, Corbin, he's been added in 3% of fantasy leagues over the last few days here. And right now, he's available in 57% of leagues. I know he took advantage of 2 pretty good matchups versus the Mets and the Pirates, teams that have been struggling to hit the baseball. But right now, if Corbin could get things going in his next outing versus the Colorado Rockies. So if you're desperate for a starter, more in deeper leagues, he's a recommended add. Here's Corbin, because he's a guy I still can't trust with a 6 ERA on the season. But right now, he's a matchup-based pickup. The next pickup's James Kiprian of the Oakland Athletics. So Kiprian, he's been pretty good this season for the Oakland Athletics and fantasy owners. But right here, it's surprising to me, he's still available in 52% of fantasy leagues on the season. 105 and a third, 7-5 record, 47 runs, 17 homers, 94 hits, 40 walks, 108 strikeouts, a 4.02 ERA, and a 1.27 whip with 7 quality starts. I know the last couple weeks, the numbers haven't been all that great, but I still think he's worth an add here. 11 2/3, 0-1 record, 17 hits, 9 runs, 2 homers, 6 walks, 13 Ks, a 6.94 ERA, and a 1.97 whip in this time here for Kiprian. So the last few outings, he hasn't gone deep into games, but he hasn't been that horrible either, in my opinion. And it's a lot of limited guys on the waiver wire right now, so I still recommend him as a pickup. September 1st at Detroit, 4 innings, no decision, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 3 walks, 4 Ks, a 9 ERA, a 1.75 whip. September 7th versus the White Sox, 4 innings, no decision, 5 hits, a run, 2 walks, 4 Ks, a 2.25 ERA, 1.75 whip. And September 12th versus Texas is where he got hit hard though, 3 2/3, got the loss, 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 5 Ks, 9.82 ERA, a 2.45 whip. So right there, that's not good to see, obviously, him get hit hard in that ball game, Cyprian. But I think he could turn things around. We saw great flashes of him. And like I've mentioned with other guys in this division, not many good hitting teams in this AL West here, which they're going to verse him down the stretch, is Oakland. So right here, Kathleen, I still would give him a shot. I know he hasn't pitched great, but I still think he's a recommended add this week. And the final pitcher I look to add on waivers this week, the Kansas City Royals. So Bubic on the season, 110 innings, 4-6 record, 110 hits, 61 runs, 21 homers, 54 walks, 101 strikeouts, a 4.99 ERA, and a 1.49 whip with 6 quality starts. But the last couple weeks here for Bubic, 12 2/3, no record, 11 hits, 5 runs, a homer, 4 walks, 13 Ks, a 3.55 ERA, and a 1.18 whip. So right here, he's gone out there and he's pitched a couple decent games in a row now, is Bubic, even though I know he's versus mediocre hitting teams. September 6th at Baltimore, 5 1/3, 6 hits, no decision, 2 runs, a homer, a walk, 4 Ks, a 3.38 ERA, a 1.31 whip. September 12th in Minnesota, 5 1/3, no decision, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 6 Ks, a 3.38 ERA, and an 0.94 whip. So right here, Bubic, he's gone out there and he's pitched 2 solid games in my opinion. I know, like I mentioned, it's not the greatest of teams, but there's not many great options as well to add on the free agent list this week in fantasy baseball. And right here, you just got to take a chance if you got this far into your season in contention and in the playoffs and head-to-head leagues, to take a shot on some of these guys, because they're going to go on matchup-based things. They're going to pitch innings at least at this point. And there's a lot of dead weight on fantasy rosters as well. And there's going to be a lot of people picking up probables, especially in points leagues. So right here, I would give Bubic a shot, even though he's available in 91% of fantasy leagues, and even though he's not on a great team with the Kansas City Royals. But that's a few pitches I look to add here in week 23 of the fantasy baseball season.